Hi, this is Lorraine Tierney with Chat and Craft with Lorraine, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Warner, New Hampshire. And you can find me on Facebook or Pinterest or my blog at Chat and Craft with Lorraine. I love to make cards and I love to share the joy of making cards. It's so much fun to make them. It's so much fun to send them, and people love to receive them. So it's just joy everywhere. And that's why I do this, and I would love to help you make cards. So I offer free Zoom classes. I do these lives. I like to show people different techniques and different ways they can use the supplies that they have. If you are watching today, if you could let me know that you're here, that would be great. I would appreciate that very much. And I think we'll get started. So today we're going to do a technique called the Faux Tile Technique. So you can see how it kind of looks like this is stamped on tile. So this is one. This is with the True Beauty stamp set. I'll show you that in a minute. And here is another one with the same stamp set. And I wonder if you notice right away what the difference, besides the different stamps, different finishings, what else is different about these two. This one is scored at right angles, and this one is scored on the diagonal. And I think I like the diagonal one better. It's a little bit longer to score your piece of white that way than it is this way. This one's really quick and easy, but it's not difficult. And then I made this one was kind of an all over pattern on the squares, the tile squares. So let me show you the stamp set that we used. There's I'm going to warn you that there's a dog on the other side of the apartment door. And so far, my daughter's dogs have not noticed it yet. But if they do, there might be some barking, and I apologize. So this is the True Beauty stamp set. I really, really like this. It's got the distinctive stamp. So all that shading that you see comes out just automatically for you. So it's really, really easy. All right, so I'm gonna use different colors for this one. And I realized I never show how I cut my card bases or anything else. So I was gonna do that together today. So this is a piece of the Whisper White Thick. So for card bases, I use the thick Whisper White or the thick Very Vanilla, because the regular one just isn't thick enough. And I'm going to score it in half. This is the 8.5 inch side, so I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. This is going to give me 2 card bases. And then I'm just going to cut this side in half. It's 11 inches, so I'm going to cut it in half at 5 1/2. So this gives me 2 card bases that I'll just fold on the score lines. I'll get those later. All right, so we are going to start with a piece of the regular basic white that's 3 3/4 by 5, because I want to mat it again before I put it on the front of my card. And we'll just do this one the square way. So I've moved my cutting blade way down to the bottom so that it's out of the way. And I'm just going to score at 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches. And then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees, and I'm going to go again. 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches, and 4 inches. Okay, so that's all you have to do to get that tile look. So I'm going to use Rich Razzleberry this time, and I have a spot here with that on it, and I'm going to use Garden Green for the stem. Whoops, sorry. I'm going to start with my stem, and I'm going to ink it up. Okay. And I like the way on this one, I have kind of a focal point of that flower right in the middle and then more stamping around it. So I'm going to go with that. Okay, I need to stand up to do this, and I like my stem to kind of curve a little bit. Then I'm going to give it a good press. There we go. And then I'm going to do this flower in my Rich Razzleberry. And I think, yeah, that's the way I want it to go. So the spots can leave edge marks if you're not careful. I don't know if you've noticed that when you do it. So you want to make sure you've got it inked up well all around so that those edge marks of the pad, the ink pad, go away. All right, and so now I'm going to try to sit this pretty close to on top of that stem. Doesn't have to exactly be on there. There we go. I did get a little smudge that we might have to cover up with some bling or some other stamping. We'll see what we can do with that. Okay, so let me clean this one off so I can use this block again. And then I'm going to do some stamping around it. There are coordinating dies that come that you can bundle with this set. They cut out all of the different flowers and leaves, and then they have an extra little leaf like I used right here on this one. That's kind of cute. And they have a lattice background, which is similar to the tile that we're creating. Okay, I was getting this one out. Forgot what I was doing. And we're going to use some more of the rich. So there's those marks I'm talking about, those lines. So I don't want those lines in there. So if I keep covering it up, the lines go away. Okay. And so now I'm going to stamp a little bit more. And make sure you only stamp once and then re-ink it because I'll show you it's going to leave tile marks in your stamp. You can see where it leaves the ink on that. So you want to make sure you ink it up each time. This is a little bit darker than I thought the Rich Razzleberry would be. I may, well, I don't want to stamp off now. I think that will look too drastic. But I may try a lighter color for our next one. I really like the way that pink came out. Just going to get a couple of these off the edges. Well, that might be good enough. Let's see how it would look stamped off. Yeah, you lose some of the shading when it's stamped off. It does look more like Blackberry Bliss, but it is Rich Razzleberry. All right, and now we're going to do some leaves. There's 2 leaves on here. Let's see if I, whoops, want to do these stamped off. 1, 2. No, I think I'll do them. Okay, and I'm going to put some just kind of near each of these flowers. And if there's just a partial flower, I'm doing a partial leaf. And I have a little bit of white space over here, so I think I'll just do a leaf there and another leaf there. So you can see how you get those tile lines without having to do any real work for them. So now I'm going to put this on a piece of rich raspberry paper. I'm going to use my liquid glue. So Courtney, you've never tried this technique before. I love it when it's a new technique for people. And it's really, I mean, you saw that is very easy to do. And now here's one of those card bases that we cut. And my rich raspberry is just 5 1/4 by 4. It's just a 1/4 inch bigger than the white. So now, whoops, I'm going to adhere this on. And true confessions, I cut a nice little banner for the sentiment, and I can't find it. And that's kind of been my day getting ready for this. I couldn't find my dimensionals. I couldn't find the computer at one point. So I'm not cutting another banner right now. I'm hoping it's going to turn up. But I am going to put a little bow on this, and I'm going to use my bow maker. Maybe about 7 or 8 inches of this crinkled seam binding ribbon. And why is it because I'm on camera? I don't remember how I usually do this. But we'll just fake it, okay? See if this comes out right. I love using my bow maker. Look at that. Nice little bow. Can turn it over. I have really long tails on it. And I'm going to pick up a glue dot. This is the strangest package of glue dots. It has dots on both sides of the paper. And I'm going to put that on right there. And then we'll cut these. Let's see, I'll go this way. There's one. I may have to use a glue dot to encourage that to stay down. Sometimes you can put a block on it for a little bit. Make sure there's no ink on your block. And that will encourage it to stay down. But there's the first card. I'll just leave the sentiment off of that. And now I'll show you how to do one on the diagonal. I do think I like that diagonal better, but let me clean my stamps on my very dirty chamois. I have a new one that I'm resisting breaking out because this one, I mean, it looks terrible and it has ripped, but it works. It's doing the job. So I hate to retire it while it's still functional. All right. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Hope it was filled with food that you love and people that you love. we had a nice day here. So that was good too. We spent a good part of the day at the hospital all together and visiting Crosby, and then we had a meal around dinner time back here at the apartment. Hello, Cookie. Is it nice and warm in Florida? All right. Here is how we're going to do it on the diagonal. So I'm going to start with the points of my 3 3/4 by 5-inch paper in my track, just like that. And I'm going to score that. Okay, and now I'm going to put that score line on the 1-inch line here and the 1-inch line there. Okay, and you can make sure you can count 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces if you're not sure you're on the right line, and then score again, and then the same thing. I'm going to put that on the 1-inch line and score again, and then I might get that little corner. It's going to be tricky. We'll see. Doesn't really do much. Okay, and then I just turned it upside down. 1, 2, 3. You can see that's not right. I got to go to 4 and 4. There we go. And now this one. And we'll see. Yeah, we don't really get much on that. Okay, so there you go. We're going to get that corner now because we're going to go the opposite corner to corner. So I've turned my paper around. I've rotated it, but it doesn't flip over. You want all your dented score lines to be on the same side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Just yell if you see me reach for that cutter instead of the score line, okay? Because I feel like I'm almost doing that. All right, and we just have a couple more here. So you can see this isn't hard to do. It's just a little more checking and being careful. It takes you a little bit longer to line things up than doing it the other way. Okay, so now we are on the diagonal. So I don't know, what color should I use? I feel like these came out darker than I wanted. There's the polished pink and the granny apple. I think I'm going to use Orchid Oasis. How about that? A little Orchid Oasis. And what green should we put with that? Maybe Shaded Spruce. Do I have Orchid Oasis in here? Shaded Spruce too dark? I think Shaded Spruce is too dark. Maybe the Granny Apple Green or Parakeet. Anybody have? I think I'm going to go with the Granny Apple Green unless I hear otherwise from folks. Okay, so this spot is brand new. I forget what it just came in. Must have been a kit. or a paper pumpkin. There we go. Okay. Oh, I usually start with my stem. So let me start with my stem. Courtney's okay with my choices. All right, good job. I find if I have a squishy ink pad and I ink it up this way, my stamp is down, and I do this, I am much less likely to get the halo around it. So that's what I'm going to do. There you go. Put that aside. And now my Orchid Oasis. Of course, I didn't cut a piece of paper in the Orchid Oasis yet, so you might have to wait for me to do that because I'm changing this. I don't know. Let's see if this is going to be too dark. Okay, I got to make sure I don't have lines and no halo. Well, we're going to go for it, guys. No testing it out. Just go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I love it. Love it. Look at that Orchid Oasis. That is a gorgeous color. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the other flower stamp again and do some of these. Oh, I love that color. I haven't used it in a while. I have forgotten how much I love it. Let me hear from you if you like Orchid Oasis. It's one of Courtney's favorites. Courtney is quick on the fingers, getting her comments in there. Cookie says she likes it. Good. Jan, I don't know. Are you a purple fan? I don't think we've discussed purple too much. So this one, I've almost done it like a repeating pattern. I did think of that with some of the others, but I think of it after I start my my pattern. So we'll see how that looks. Let me do a little bit of leaves. So I'm just checking my stamp to make sure I'm getting good coverage. I don't want to encroach on that that middle flower, my center flower, so trying to keep my leaves off, away from it just a little bit. There we go. I feel like I need just a hint, but maybe it should be a teeny tiny flower. I don't know. I think I'll leave it alone. You tell me, do I need another little bit of flower here and here, or leaf? You tell me what you think. Nancy, you like this color too? I'm glad. All right, let me get a piece of paper. All right, I think this will be enough. Oh, I was thinking I needed 2 mats, but I really only need 1. I've got a couple of votes to leave it the way it is. I'm going to go 5 1/4. by 4. Here's my card base. And of course I'm looking for my bone folder now. Give that a good score. What do you think? Oh, I got some hairy things on my paper. I might need a new blade. I've been making a lot of cards. I did clean my trimmer today. I use a little Goo Gone and I go up and down the track and clean the surface of it because I get glue on it. And it's sparkling clean now. Oh, I like that. I think that's very pretty. I'm going to leave that just the way it is and put a little bit of glue on that. So you can do this technique obviously with any stamp set. You just score your piece of paper first and then stamp on it. I may give it a try with a piece of dark cardstock and then emboss a large stamp in white. I had that idea, but I didn't have a chance to do that ahead of time. I think I'm going to do a different sentiment right now. I think I will do the just because. Let's get this one off. That's why I can't find anything and I can't find stamps when I'm done because I'm putting them on the outside of the box. So I don't have my sticker on this stamp, so I'm trying to line up. My block is square and then I'm trying to line up the script on a line on the grid paper. And then I'll stamp it right on this little piece that you get when you're done. I've lost the Orchid Oasis. Here it is. When you're cutting your mat size. Let's see if I can do this. Not bad. So just because. I'm cut that off and I'm going to put just the teeny tiniest little flag or banner point or whatever you might call that on the end. And then I think I'll cut a little strip of this. This little piece is a 1/2 inch wide. So I think I'll go, I'll try 3. No, let me do 5/8. I'll do 3/4. I can always trim it. I can't add on to it if the 5/8 is too much. And I don't want it as long as this. I just want it in the middle. This is about 2.5. So I think I'll do 2. And I just want, so yeah, so that's too big. I could have trusted myself with 5/8. Oh well. Let's see how this looks. I just want a little bit like that. Maybe I'll put a little banner on this end. I don't think I'm too centered, But you won't tell anybody, will you? Okay. I'm just going with it. I'm not going to stop and look at it. Okay. I have some dimensionals around here someplace. I'm going to pop a couple of dimensionals on the back. And then pop that right over here. I don't know if I'm straight. So my favorite way to see if anything is straight is to use the corner of my cutter, because that is nice and square. It's got my card square, and now I can line that up. So there you go. So there is a faux tile card. I think I like the Orchid Oasis and the Granny Apple Green as much as I like the polished pink and the Granny Apple Green. So here's, I did a whole lot more with the polished pink around the edges, and this one has less. I kind of like them both. I think they look okay. And then these are not on the diagonal. These are straight. So I hope you will give that a chance. I think you have everything you need to be able to do that. As long as you have a scorer, a trimmer scorer, you can give that a try. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to help. And if I can help you make cards at home, you need a catalog, you'd like to order some supplies, just let me know and I would be happy to help you. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.